moving on to the actual levels. This question is about buffered spins, and there's actually two of them. So, one is anonymous and simply asks, how do buffered spin jumps work? And the other is by Gentle Mudkip, who asked, how do runners walk a little and spin jump without spinning on the ground, like during the shine grab in the pin of 6 secret? And that was a description of a buffered spin jump. So, this game has a buffer for spins. And what that means is that if you do a spin on the control stick, the game will kind of hold on to that spin for somewhere between half a second and a second. And during that time, you can press A and get a spin jump. So, what that means is that you can buffer spin jumps in certain situations. Normally, if you're standing on the ground and you do a spin, this will happen, right? Mario will spin around. But if you're coming out of a jump, you can do the spin right before Mario hits the ground, and then you can do the jump afterwards, and then Mario won't walk around in a circle. And we call that a buffered spin jump. Now, there's two kinds of buffered spins as well. You can do it from a standstill, like this, which doesn't really have any inherent advantages, other than it makes it a lot easier to go in the direction that you want to. Because if you're buffering a spin jump, Mario won't walk around, so he will keep facing forward. So if you buffer a spin jump like this, you'll always go straight forward. And it's a very good way to do spin jump dives without diving in the wrong direction. You can also do it while moving. You just jump as soon as you hit the ground. Okay, but then there is a second kind of buffered spin jump, and this is the one that Gentle Mudkip was actually referring to. And that is the buffered spin jump with a delay. So, as you can see, I can do a step on the ground, pretty much, before I do the spin jump. Mario will walk like 1 or 2 steps. And you might think, well, that's not very useful, but it actually is, because in this game, the faster you move, the higher you jump. And jumping actually slows you down, so running is faster than jumping. So if you can get a little bit of running speed before you do a spin jump, your spin jump will gain more height. And it will also, of course, just go further because you're moving faster. And in a few situations, that can be beneficial, like the pin of 6 shine, where if you do that kind of buffered spin jump, you can actually grab the shine without landing on the ground, whereas that's otherwise not possible. So this kind of buffered spin is a little bit more difficult because you need to time your spin more accurately. But basically you want to spin right as you hit the ground, and then you jump after Mario walks. And it might be a little difficult for me to clearly show the difference between the two, but that's how it works. I really can't say much more than that. That's how buffered spin jumps work. That's what they do. Another good example is Rico 4, and that might actually not be a bad one to show off. So let me show off the effect of buffered spins. So let's go into Rico 4, right here. Alright, so this tower is the classic example of the use of buffered spins. You need to do wall kicks to get up here. And if you don't buffer your spin, you see how you either need to hover really long or you need to ledge grab this. But if you Okay, so if you do the easy buffered spin, like that, you'll see you still don't get up there immediately, but you do get a little bit higher. Because you do retain a little bit more speed with the easy buffered spin. But now if I do the hard buffered spin... and not miss... Whoops. It's kind of awkward to do this from this position. Alright. I don't think that was it, actually. Let's try again. Okay, that was it. Oh my lord. Okay, I need to get that wall kick. The hard buffered spin. See, now I can get up here. With literally, I only had to hover there just to gain a little bit more distance. I didn't have to hover up at all. I didn't have to grab the ledge. That's the effect of buffered spins. So that's the 3 different tiers of buffered spin. And at high level play, those are important, and you really need to be able to do all 3 of them at will. But if you're a beginner, you really only need to worry about this kind of buffered spin, the one where you don't have to take a step. Because this is just a very useful tool, and it will make your spin jumps way more consistent, because you'll never end up doing something like this, where you suddenly spin all the way to the right, out of nowhere. So yeah. Anyone have any follow-up questions on that? On buffered spin jumps? Or spin jumps in general? Counterclockwise is for normal people. Most people do actually spin the control stick counterclockwise, but some people spin clockwise, and it really doesn't matter. It's just whatever you're used to. Momentum spin jumps? I can be very brief about momentum spins. So, when you roll out onto a slope, see how fast Mario runs? That's what we call momentum. And a momentum spin jump is just doing a spin jump while you have momentum. And that gets you a lot of speed, so the jump goes very high and you go very far. There's different ways you can do momentum spins. You can do what I did there and just walk in a circle. Or you can do an instant momentum spin jump where you dive onto a surface and then right before you land, you spin the control stick. It's a lot like a buffered spin. You spin the control stick before you land, but then instead of pressing A once, you press it twice, and it looks like this. That's a instant momentum spin jump. And those are basically the 2 kinds of momentum spin jumps. And this is actually used here. You can do a... Oh, I guess there's also this, where you do it out of a water slide. But it's the same as the dive, but you just spin while you're sliding instead of spinning before you land. So you just spin, press A twice. But that's how momentum spin jumps work.